Hello, welcome to another edition of the Snackable series. I'm Brett Berkey. This is Rick Allen, and today we're going to have a short one about the things you need to know when you're evaluating performing notes.
Yeah, the top things you want to consider when taking a look at performing notes.
Right.
So very important. All right. So start with, you're kind of looking at, it all really revolves around, I look at asset value to start with. Look, I want to know what's the value of this asset.
Why?
Just because ultimately this is could come back to a foreclosure. They say, plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Right.
So if it's performing, ultimately if they have a great payment history, you're probably going to wind up with a performing asset that continues to pay. Mm-hmm. But if there's black swan events, a la COVID, a la the mortgage meltdown, something like that, you want to make sure that at least you've done your due diligence and you're protected. You never want to, buy a $150,000 note and pay, par for it when the house is worth $70,000. Right? Because you're upside down. So I'm always looking at value. The next thing I'm looking at is kind of the terms of the actual note. That's going to come back to like, what's the interest rate? Mm-hmm. What's the principal balance? How long is it? What's the term of the loan? Is it a 300-month loan and we're on month 240? Or is it a 300-month loan and we're 36 months into it? There's a lot of interest left on the front end of it. Principal balance. Those things. So really you want to dig into the meat of the performing loan to kind of get an idea of, okay, assuming payment history is tip-top, with all that information, the interest rate, the length of the loan, the principal balance, I'm going to be able to get into a ballpark of what I'm going to pay.
Interesting. Okay.
And then it comes down to, I'm looking at the payment history. Is this really a performing loan? Are they paying before the first of the month? Are they paying 3 days early? Are they making 2 payments a month? Are they paying late? Are they rolling 15? Which means they're 15 days late consistently. There's this magic number in there that's, so it doesn't get reported to your credit until it's 30 days late. But you don't get the late fees until most of the time you're 15 days late, right? So you're looking at that and people are like, well, are they 14 days late? And listen, the nature of our business, we see a lot of stuff that are rolling 20, rolling 25. They'll catch up and they're on time, rolling 5, rolling 10 the next month, rolling 14. Then they catch up and they're on time for 3 months. So, I'm more considered like, look, what's the overall picture? If you can get 36, 48 months, great. 24 months would be, that's ideal. And then 12 months is kind of that minimum. Of establishing, a payment history.
Got it. Okay.
The next thing is like, what kind of security type is it? Is it a deed of trust? Are we in a non-judicial state? If I have to foreclose?
Why is that important? Deed of trust versus mortgage?
Well, because the deed of trust state, it's a lot quicker timeline to get the house back and it costs a lot less money.
Right. Okay.
Right? If it's a foreclosure or if it's a mortgage and you're going to have to go through judicial, it could, who knows how long it's going to take. Right now, Illinois is still taking forever on stuff that's even was already started.
Wow. Prior
to COVID. So that becomes a bit of an issue. You want to look at the asset type, is this a double wide? Or are we talking about a single family home, a duplex, a multifamily? Those are all very important things to consider.
Why?
Because you want to know, like if it's a double wide, that's a kind of a depreciating asset versus a single family home.
Okay.
Arguably is appreciating.
And a multifamily will be
obviously a multifamily is always appreciating. That's because you can look at it multiple ways. It's not just on replacement cost or comparables. Really what you're looking at is what's your cap rate, like how much money are you making off of it. So that's really what I'm looking at. And then payment history is just, you look at payment history because at the end of the day, if it's a performing loan, you should see a good history of payments. If you see something that's kind of spotty, the payments are not always there. They're just kind of fluctuating all over the place. Well, I factor in that risk into my bidding. So those are really, the terms of the loan, which is the interest rate, the length of the term, the principal balance. That's all the stuff I look at. And then I start diving into what's the value of the asset, what's the security type, is it mortgage, deed of trust, and then finally I'm looking at payment history just to see what's going on there.
That makes a lot of sense, man. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for showing up for this one, and we'll see you on another one.
Yep, see ya.
See ya.